Hello, hello everybody! We are playing more Beacon Pines today, and I hope we finish it up. Let's get into it. So when last we left off, we had just refused this scene. I think we're going to accept this scene. So we're gonna accept it and see how absolutely devastating on our heartstrings this goes. Here we go.
Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request.
He's gonna let
With
go.
a quiet blink, Luca watched a teardrop sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Oof. Good. Oh.
The two silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
Oh. Oh. Wow, just jumping right into the heartbreak. Hell of a goodbye, Iggy. Luca, you should really step back. What? Quickly. Curious. But of course. Those fireworks of Iggy's must have been just the right amount of energy. We should get out of here before perennial harvest arrives. Not until you tell me what just happened. Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyway. How? Tempest leucomine is a peculiar substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself. Oh, what? That feels like a big... But doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, that energy can only come from its surroundings. A useful side product of this property being. By adding precisely the correct amount of energy to it, one can create a cryogenic cascade. So the gunk makes things cold, and the fireworks made the whole freeze over. That's one way of putting it, yes. As dumb luck would have it, the fireworks weren't strong enough to generate a runaway reaction. I shudder to think what would have happened in that case.
We have some idea what that would look like.
We do. It'll take them a good while to safely break through the access the source again. If you know all this stuff, why haven't you been helping? I have been, in my way. Each one of us has a role to play. Iggy's role, it turns out, was to buy us precious time. Mine has been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Me? Why? What's my role?
A fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Luca Van Horn, you are going to save the world. Okay.
With a chuckle, Nat turned and walked west.
Alright.
Dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging through the snow. Every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder. Revenge served cold. Second time's a charm?
What?
Wait, that's it?
What?
This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy.
Oh, yeah, we all
No
were.
way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels.
Fair.
Let's go back and find something more definitive.
It's an interesting ending. Okay. Oh, so it's the end of that tree. Break is the only option here that we haven't done. So let's go back to the rain. Alright. We'll choose break here. I'm curious as to how that's gonna be different because, oh wait, no, break would be like the end of the storm, wouldn't it? Apparently I don't know my storm terminology.
Luca began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to break, revealing patches of star-filled summer night.
Okay, yeah.
Moonlight filtered down, shimmering in the treetops.
Sure, you can meet Rollo. You're not going home? No, I promised Rollo I'd tell him about...
Lucas stopped himself mid-sentence.
Promised you'd tell him what? Spit it out, bub. We're thick as thieves now. If there's a juicy secret, you gotta tell me. Okay. You can come to the treehouse and I'll tell you both what happened. Heck yeah. Uh-oh. I really hope...
Lucas saw Beck skulking by the gate.
Really hope they all work it out. So you're telling me there's nothing mysterious or creepy about this place? It's mostly boring and empty. I refuse to believe that. Big spiked gate, looming mansion, rich reclusive owners. It even smells shady.
Beck grabbed the wrought iron bars and shook the gate.
Anyway, mark my words, you decadent nightmare house. You will reveal your secrets to me! Oh! What did you do? First of all, I told you so. Second, hide! That's Sarah's Valentine. Who's she talking to? Shh. I expect you to return that suit in working order. Of course. As long as everything proceeds as planned. There's nothing to worry about. The only thing I'm worried about is what's rightfully mine. If that means making some unsavory alliances, so be it. Couldn't agree more. There comes a time to suspend hostilities. I'll deal with their common threat. Now this is what I was talking about.
Beck's voice was an excited whisper.
Proper shady stuff. Someone in a suit like that tried to grab me yesterday. Seriously? Shh. You do understand that when this all inevitably fails, I'll deny everything? I wouldn't expect any less of you. You just worry about your part in this and let me handle the rest. I can't wait to see the look that on that Rube Kerr's face. Yes, the truth will come to light. Still surprised you're so comfortable with potential collateral damage. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that change is painful. Wow, I was expecting shady, but that's just flat out supervillain talk. If you don't mind me asking, why are you doing all of this?
The mysterious figure retracted their mask, hair pushing out
I know
from
who
all
it is.
corners.
Is it? Yes, I was right. Family.
A chill ran down Lucas' spine. His vision blurred. Beck stifled a sharp wince, and Luca looked down to see himself wrenching her hand.
And an answer I can certainly respect. I was gonna give that accent, but I was like, no, it can't be.
Gran tousled her hair back under the face mask.
Just remember, keep everything nice and normal until the festival. I don't need lessons on rousing suspicion.
Gran gave Eris a curt nod and disappeared into the night.
How's she gonna hide all that hair and not get caught like people would know? See that. Oh no.
Chapter 5. What big ears you have. Lucas sat shivering in the bushes, staring at his feet. After checking to make sure the coast was clear, Beck gave him a gentle tug on his sweater.
What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. Why were you so scared of that old lady in the hazmat suit? That was my gran. That was your gran. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for all of this. Let's just get to the treehouse and figure things out there. Lead the way. Meet up with Rollo at the treehouse. Let's go. Oh, right. My bad. Uh-oh. For the last time, there's nothing to worry about. Of course, we're not worried.
Clipboard finished writing with a scratchy flourish and looked up.
Just dotting our I's and crossing our T's. Well, maybe try minding your P's and Q's.
Mr. Nuncreed, arms crossed over his paunch, gave an exhausted sigh.
If there's anything you need knowing, you'll know it. Absolutely. If you'll just sign here, acknowledging everything is accurate, we'll be out of your hair in a flash. Oh, for the love of...
He snatched the pad and scribbled his name so hard the pen nearly snapped.
There. And would you like my eternal soul as well?
The clipboards looked at each other for a moment, almost pondering the possibility. Then broke into laughter as they walked away.
Ha 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 ha. Speed. Oh, how conveniently timed. Hi, Mr. Nuncreed. Luca, let me give you some advice. Next time someone you don't know asks to hear your thoughts, give him a good hard bop right in the kisser. Oh, Gran tells me to just keep away from the clipboards. That's good, that's good. Your Gran is a smart lady, Luca. Speaking of which, you better run along home now. Too dark out to be wandering on your own. Yeah, that's probably right. Do you have any secrets for me now? The answers you seek will be revealed to you in due time. The question is, the figure intoned, are you prepared to live with the truth? Don't like that. Another day, another dollar. See you tomorrow, Z. Have you noticed how all the perennial harvest folks order the same drink? Decaf cappuccino with extra foam. Why? I don't know. Just thought it's a little odd. Pretty weird for sure. Well, the customer's always right. See you bright and early tomorrow. Ugh, I can't wait. We're just gonna do a quick run through. Better not dilly-dally, gotta get to the treehouse. Okay. Hey, mate. Just kidding, then. Hey, the mayor. Uh-oh.
William Kerr and Gus Valentine proudly surveyed the half-covered festival banner.
It's all coming together quite nicely. Couldn't have done it without you.
The mayor gave a half-hearted shrug.
I'm not so sure about that. Nonsense. That reminds me, I wasn't able to thank your sister for her contributions. Yes, she's been indisposed of late. She doesn't much like me, does she? Oh, no, that's not at all. She's just been busy. Of course. Regardless, I would be forever grateful if you could pass my thanks on to her. The History Museum adds a real air of import to the whole affair. And we couldn't very well celebrate the story of Beacon Pines without including the Valentines. My father was a great man. You're darn tootin' he was.
Kerr lopped his arm on Gus's shoulder.
But I meant the entire Valentine family. Present company included. Can I ask you something, Mr. Kerr? Call me William. Ask away. William, why are you doing all of this? Gosh, I never felt one needed a compelling reason to throw a party. Not just the festival. All of this. There's gotta be 100 down on their luck towns out there. Why is Perennial Harvest so invested in helping Beacon Pines? You know what I love most about the agriculture business? Seeds. Seeds? Yep, little bundles of potential.
With a glimmer in his eye, Kerr gestured grandly toward the horizon.
You treat a seed right, mature it, nurture it, feed it, and it can grow into something truly special. You see potential here. Undoubtedly. The seed of greatness is already under our feet. All it needs is a little nudge. And the right leadership, of course. Oh. Good night, Mayor Valentine. Poor Mayor. Oh, the lights are on. Old Pickler's Pond. Okay, well, let's go there. Oh, this is nice. Yeah, the treehouse is just a little further on from here. So, what's your buddy Rollo like? Rollo. Not particularly helpful. Sorry, I've just never thought about it. Lots of energy. He's funny even when he's trying not to be. Things have been tough for his family since the fowl harvest. It's about damn time you tell me what this fowl harvest thingy is. It's kind of a long story. Hit me with the highlights. Okay, there used to be a fertilizer company here called Valentine's. They were kind of a big deal. Oh, big deal, fertilizer. It was a big deal to us. Their stuff really worked. Farmers loved it. So Valentine grew and grew. Beacon Pines pretty much grew around it. Most everyone in town either worked for Sharper Valentine or used his fertilizer. Things were good. I'm sensing a big but. Around 6 years ago, Sharper Valentine suddenly died, and something changed. Changed how? Could have been a bad batch. Maybe it was in the water or air or soil. Nobody knows. But all the crops died. And everyone blamed the Valentines. The foul harvest. Yeah. Valentine's fertilizer went out of business. Half the town lost their jobs. Sheesh. The next year the crops came back, but something was different. You plant a crop, do everything right, and it's sort of a crap shot what happens. And no one knows why? Nope. I take it Rollo's farm got the short end of the stick. Yep, for some reason their farm was hit harder than others. That sucks. Things have gotten better since Perennial Harvest came to town. The Beacon Pines Were Born initiative? Yep, first thing they did was give the town a deep scrub. They even put us up in hotels one town over for a week while they decontaminated the groundwater. We better get going. Huh. Meet up with Rollo at the treehouse. Oh no. It's about time! I was about to give up and go home. Who's the new kid? Name's Beck. He must be Rollo. I see my reputation precedes me. Welcome to Wish and Control.
Rollo waggled his head with pride.
You'll find we spared no expense in construction. I've seen worse looking piles of junk. Thanks. Hey, Luca, you know the security concerns we've talked about? Yeah. While I was waiting, I made some improvements. Let me lock this baby down for a little test infiltration. Can't be too safe these days. Give it a second. Oh. Okay. He goes all out, doesn't he? Always. Lavish. Can I throw something at it? Ah, fudge. Oh. I'm supposed to... There it is. Oh no. I was lucky. I was absolutely just lucky. Oh, this one's moving. Oh. Okay, cool. Oh. Hey, there we go. Where do you guys get all this junk in the first place? There's a guy in town named Jeff who trades us junk for snacks. Junk food for junk. Nice. So, pretty sweet security, right? It's imaginative, I'll give you that. Luca, are we sure we can trust the new recruit? I'll vouch for her. Thanks, I guess. Oh, okay, Luca, you promised to fill me in about the Valentine warehouse.
Luca sucked in a long breath.
So like I said, there was someone there. What were they doing? I don't know, the place was lit up and active. Maybe they're squatters? I don't think so. It seemed more organized. When the man pulled me in, I saw some sort of equipment running. A man pulled you in? Yeah, but I got away. You keep saying it was a man. They were wearing a mask, right? Yeah. Then it could have been a woman. How'd you get away? I grabbed a rock or something and broke their mask. They let go when I ran. Dang. That's intense. No wonder you freaked out when you saw your grandma. Yeah, that's the other part. On our way here, Beck and I saw Eris Valentine meeting with Gran. wearing the same sort of hazmat suit.
Rollo let out a low whistle.
Hey, they weren't there for idle chit-chat. It was a proper clandestine meetup. So, let me get this straight. There's an operation in full swing at the Valentine warehouse. You were almost abducted by a strange man or woman in a protective suit. And then you saw your gran in the same suit talking to Eris Valentine. Pretty much. I'm beginning to think this town is kind of awesome.
Rollo and Luca shot back a look.
No offense. And so we could logically conclude aliens or alien zombies have infiltrated the town. And their leader is your gran. She tried to murder you. First of all, and last time, there are no aliens. Second, it couldn't have been my gran at the warehouse. I broke that person's mask to get away. The mask Gran was wearing wasn't damaged. But she's definitely hiding something. Maybe. Your gran is weird, but she might be the most boring person in the universe. All she does is sit around all day making jam. What could she possibly have to hide? I don't know, we haven't talked much since she moved in. Moved in? Your gran isn't from here? No, she came a few months back to take care of me after his mom went missing. Did you know your gran before? Not really, no. It's been years since I'd seen her. Luca, don't take this the wrong way. But are we sure your gran is on the up and up?
Luca gazed out the window.
I'm just saying. Sounds like strange stuff's been happening since she showed up. We could say the same thing about your family. But you're right. Luca, your gran is hiding something. And Pa always says folks only bury stuff worth digging up. We need to investigate your house. If my gran really is hiding something, don't you think I would have noticed it by now? That's kind of the whole point of hiding something. I guess you're right. Gran's been leaving the house for hours at a time this week. I'll call you two tomorrow when the coast is clear. We can start getting to the bottom of this. I'm always game for a good snoop. You can count me in. Okay.
Chapter
snooping.
6. Secret Lair.
Secret lair.
Summer forged ahead, but the nights only seemed to grow cold. Luca walked home slowly under the pale starlight, cautious to avoid any more surprises lurking in the shadows.
Fair.
Reaching home, he slipped quietly into bed, half dreading what they might discover the next day.
Hey. Oh. What time is it? Oh, okay. Couldn't do anything about that, can I? I know there was a knock on the door. I know. Just give me a second. There's a lot of things to glare at. Oh. Rollo, what on earth is that? That ridiculous thing on your head. Oh, this helps me think. You're gonna need a lot of more of those. Choke all you want. We'll see who's laughing when I crack this case wide open. The coast is clear? Yeah, whatever she's been up to this week, it's been keeping her busy most of the day. Very well. The game is afoot.
Luca and Beck rolled their eyes as Rollo strutted across the room.
If I were a gran, where would I hide my deepest, darkest secrets? Perhaps where you might least expect it.
Rollo flung open the cabinet with confidence.
Aha!
He coughed as a veil of dust hit his face.
I think it's safe to assume anything that's that dusty isn't what we're looking for. Or maybe that's what she wants you to think. And then again, any good detective knows not to trust their first hunch. First hunches are for suckers. Okay, we're just gonna follow him around. Eureka! She's lit a fire in order to burn the evidence. She keeps that fire going every day, Rollo. Drat, it may already be too late. Just think of the mounds of documents lost to ash. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Can we just think for a moment? Luca, is there anywhere Gran doesn't want you to go? Yeah, the closet upstairs. So maybe it stands to reason that we should check there first. No dice, it's locked. Well, well, well. Look who stands to reason now. And I have no idea where the key is. If it really is important, then she probably keeps it with her. Anywhere else? She has her berry bushes. Who has ever thought, I'm gonna take this important thing and huck it up in a bush? True. Anything else? Maybe something out of the ordinary. Well, she is always worried I'll break her fancy dishware in the kitchen. But it doesn't matter anyway, I can't reach the latch.
A look of realization crept onto Luca's face. All three kids snapped to glance at each other, then sprinted in turn toward the kitchen.
Go, go, go! Alright, Rollo. This is your time to shine. Ah, yes. You've called upon my expert detective skills. And now I shall proceed with...
Before he could finish, Luca scrambled up Rollo's back.
Hey, this isn't my idea of detective work. Every squad needs a good lockpick. And every good lockpick needs a sturdy head to sit on. This is beneath my standing. Stop complaining and hold still. Got it!
The three crowded around the hutch to peer in. With the glass doors opened, a perfect porcelain display gleamed in front of them. Their eyes searched for anything amiss, but the only distinct feature was its impeccability.
Well, that was anticlimactic. Yeah. I don't really know what we were expecting. Like, oh hey! Let me just yank on this random teacup and...
pulled on one of the teacups. It slanted forward with a hollow click. The entire hutch began to rustle and slide under its own power.
Oh. Seems like your gran has been doing some remodeling. Dude, only 2 types of people with secret layers: evil masterminds and superheroes. So which one do we think she is? We're about to find out. Okay, so more of an unhinged conspiracist vibe? Oh, wow. Yeah, this cannot be good. We need to look around before we jumping to conclusions.
Luca jostled each cabinet drawer in turn. Only one was unlocked. He fingered through the filing cabinet, pausing at a bulging folder labeled Walter. For a long moment, he just stared at it.
What do you got there? It's my dad. Looks like some of his old medical files. Your dad was a doctor?
Luca nodded and caressed the label with his thumb.
Well, are you gonna read it? Here, let me help.
Willow swiped the folder from the drawer and began leafing through the pages. He whistled to himself, barely looking at the text.
How about you actually read some of it? One sec. Dense documents, such as this, are a lot like a cheeseburger. It's best to skip straight to the middle. It's where all the meaty bits live. Wow, I had no idea we were in the presence of a preeminent scholar in dense documents. And cheeseburgers. By all means, proceed.
He stopped at a page and mimed, holding up a monocle.
Ah, here we are. Follow-up examination of Terrence Wilby. Patient shows further signs of paleness and malaise. Body temperature continues to drop. He now describes soreness of muscles and joints. This is similar to symptoms exhibited by Miss Wilby just a few days past, still waiting on lab results from Joseph.
Rollo looked up with heightened surprise.
See? Creepy. That's kind of disturbing. Who's Joseph? That's Mr. Nungreed's name. Wait.
Rollo's finger traced across the page.
There's more scribbled in the margins. Could it be contagious? Mr. Wilby claims the tap water at his home has been contaminated. Perhaps environmental? Lab results only raise more questions. It's like he came back to this report later and made those notes. So it might be related to something else.
Rollo scanned through several more pages.
Here, the writing looks shaky. I just couldn't help her. This disease, or whatever it is, progresses so fast. And with his wife passing, Terrence's condition follows close behind, exacerbated by the loss. Enough is enough. I need to take matters into my own hands.
Staring blankly at the cabinet this whole time, spoke softly.
What does it say next?
Noah rustled the folder, trying to loose more pages.
That's where it ends. What? There has to be more.
Luca frantically shoved the remaining cabinet folders, trying to find another labeled Walter.
Luca, I think that's the only one. It's alphabetical, see? What did he mean, enough is enough? How did he take matters into his own hands? This is bullshit.
Luca slammed the drawer shut. A spider web of string connected photos of people from the town, interspersed with hastily scrawled notes.
Well, she sure has kept herself busy. Is your gran a serial killer? Because I'm starting to get a vibe. Don't be ridiculous. Sure, she's just tracking the movements of everyone in town. Out of the kindness of her heart. She put little symbols by some of them. Yeah, Mr. Nuncreed is a check mark. The clipboards are all inside a big circle. My moms are both on here. Both with question marks. Gus Valentine has a question mark. Eris has a question mark that's been crossed out. Mr. Kerr has a bullseye. The killer has chosen her next victim! We don't know what any of it means. Whatever it means, it's probably not good. Okay, hi everybody. You guys are kind of in the way. What do we have here? Barrels marked caution, explosive. And jam jars? It's enough jam to feed the whole town. What kind of incendiary jam is your gran making? Ooh. She wouldn't have had me walk around town delivering bombs, right? Only one way to find out.
Rollo casually spun open a lid and dipped his finger in the jam.
Huckleberries.
He smacked his lips.
Hint of brown sugar. And ink? What?
Rollo plunged his hand in the jar, fishing out a soggy slip of paper.
Aha!
Rollo offered the slimy note to Luca and licked his fingers clean.
It's addressed to Miss Fratelli. A gran? Jam? Gram? Ooh, that broke my brain. It says, last night I used the disguise Eris provided to scout the location. The timing window should be possible. Operation Sparkplug is a go. Oh man, are they doing a heist? Whatever it is, it can't be good. So, more I bomb shell than a bomb, am I right? You're new here, so I'll let it slide. But I'm the bad joke guy around here.
They crowded around a worn-down old map of Beacon Pines.
Cool! This looks like a treasure map! Not every old map is a treasure map, Rollo. Yeah, but every treasure map is an old map. Can't fault that logic. Look, there's even a pathway drawn on it. Starts at the entrance of town. And if we follow it...
Rollo carefully traced the path with his finger.
It leads right to...
He jabbed down at the end point.
Town Square? That's the fountain in the middle of the town. What a weird place to hide treasure. Rollo, that doesn't look like treasure to me. The end of the path on that map has the same symbol as these explosives over there. So it's not hiding treasure. A real bummer. Rollo, what's the thing you've been excited about for the past month? The festival! Did you just say gulp? This feels like a gulp kind of situation. Everyone will be gathered near the center of town. She's gonna blow up the festival! Not if we stop her. Oh no. What was that?
Luca looked up from the map.
What was that? What? No, I heard it too. That was the front door, which means someone just shut the door, which means someone's upstairs. Shh, quiet. Hit the lights.
Beck flicked off the light, and they became statues in the dark. Overhead, creaking floorboards bent under slow, deliberate steps.
Please be hiding. Don't just be standing there.
The kids looked up, the tilt of their necks following each footfall.
Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be Gran, right?
Then suddenly, it stopped. Without realizing, they'd been holding their breath. All three exhaled shakily and glanced at each other. A muffled male voice broke the silence.
Male. Hello?
A final few footsteps reached the entrance above them, and a voice now echoed down the stairs.
Anyone down here?
The three kids shuffled to the corners without a peep. As he began to descend the stairs, the man's voice punctuated every new step. Thump.
You! I'm not here to hurt anyone. I'm just here to help. Just...
At the bottom step, the man paused, squinting to search the room for signs of life.
Huh. Guess it's nothing.
Rollo shifted suddenly.
No.
Luca gave him an intense, chastising look and whispered through clenched teeth.
Rollo, don't.
It was too late. Rollo was already inching toward the stairway. He screeched as he charged toward the shadowy figure.
Flaming chicken coop!
With all his weight, Rollo tackled the man to the ground.
Rollo? Serious creepy man? Anyone there?
From the dark corner, they saw something move.
Ugh. Well, I didn't know if I had it in me. There was only one way to find out. Holy crap, Rollo, that was awesome. Wait, did you just kill that person?
Luca scrambled to the hunched figure on the ground. Pressing his fingers to the man's neck, he sighed with relief.
You sure clobbered him good, Rollo. He's knocked out
As
cold.
Beck flicked back on the light, Luca and Rollo both gasped in stereo.
Mr. Tolliver!
Chapter 7. The Interrogation of Hiram Tolliver.
Yeah.
Still unconscious, Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair. His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string. The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go.
Fair. Yeah.
They needed to know what he was doing in Luca's house. After some deliberation, it was decided.
I would have done this upstairs. They'd run a classic good cop. Ooh. Probably hard cop interrogation. Actually, he gets stressed out, right? So we should probably go chill cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
I'll handle this, just gotta play it cool.
Luca walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, I sure got my bell rung.
He looked over to find Luca, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. It was all a big mistake. Luca, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Rollo just got a little startled. Rollo's here?
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, alright. Mistakes happen. You kids gave old Hiram a good scare. Just let me out of this ropes and call it even.
Luca glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my Grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my Gran up to? If you just cut me loose, I can show you. How do I know we can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luca, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah? So why should I turn my back on your family now? It's just... all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people in town, an archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes.
Luca gestured to the corner.
Barrels of explosives? I can explain everything. You just need to untie me. You kids deserve an explanation.
Luca looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged. Luca began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. This'll all make sense in time.
He edged imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
You see, this town has secrets, Luca. Very dark past indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past that must be brought to...
He punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
Light! Son of a...
Beck darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there. Let the adults handle this.
They looked bewildered at each other.
Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation. This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luca opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end. Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Back to the drawing board.
Okay, so we do have the other part of this interrogation, but I did get another... Okay, so I guess it doesn't help yet. Because we've done everything except for this, this other answer. Okay.
They'd run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation.
Yeah.
Rollo brandished a steely gaze. I've got this. Read about it 100 times.
Okay.
Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well, Mr. Tolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Mr. Tolliver?
Beck and Luca gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver!
He grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face.
Alright, that'll wake you
Mr.
up.
Tolliver groaned and slowly lifted his head. He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
Okay. I'll be asking the questions here, punk. Now hold on, just calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. As for you, looks like you're sweating.
The doubtful expression on Beck and Luca's faces transformed into awe.
We can do this my way, or... Well, let's just say I've never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance! What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
You've tied me down. How on earth could I dance? Dance with your mouth, punk. Spill the beans! What are you doing poking around the house? I'm here to help Juniper, to make sure everything's ready. Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran. Gran?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, huh? Blow up the festival? Good lord.
He shook his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. Source? What's the source? It's where
His voice faded to a whisper.
the town began. Where it all began. What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold.
Yeah, that checks out.
Rollo
Okay.
swung around with a repentant grimace.
Damn, Rollo. Think you went a little too hard on him. What'd he say about the source? It's where the town began? We need more information. Yeah, but we better not push Mr. Tolliver any further. Is there anyone else who might know more? About the History Museum. It's got set up for the festival. Nah, tent was put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library. If there's information about this source thing, Kato can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. They're just leaving him down there? I guess so. Hey, man. This is a dang nice library. Thanks, we work hard on it. Aren't you a little too adorable to be a librarian? Adorable. Kato hung out here so much that actually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Miss Novak sometimes. They got you working for free? It's quiet and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for y'all? We need a favor. I already told you and Rolla. I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the next Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing, we sorta don't know. What do you got on the history of the town? There's the county record archives. What's in those? Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading. But they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great. We'll start there. Ooh, boring reading.
Chapter 8.
Oh.
6 feet under, 3 towns over.
This is the furthest we've made it in
The
chapters.
kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luca tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst. But the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
Oof. If I have to read any more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of these asinine death records. Rollo Cotter lived a full and wonderful life, till he read so much boring crud that his brain oozed out of his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
If you got a better idea, spit it out. You sound like my sister. Keep pushing your luck, pal. And it won't be boring county records that kill you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
You're a country record. Really? That's the best you've got? When I'm done with you, you'll be the footnote in history. Just like
Beck slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey! We're all a little tired here. Let's take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luca's mind.
Wait, what was that name, Beck? In the bit, J. Hartford. From the Brookville Tribune 8 years ago. That can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford. That's my grand's name, Juniper Hartford. Maybe there were two J. Hartfords? Miss Hartford is survived by her young daughter E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. If your grand is 6 feet under, 3 towns over, then who am I living with?
The question hung
Ooh,
in
I
the
got
air.
goosebumps. I had the feeling they were gonna do that. Alright, gang, I gotta close up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10. Oh crap, Pa's gonna kill me. I gotta go. Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I'll think of something. He's hopefully not unconscious, nor there.
Luca's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement.
Yeah, him.
Dealing with him would be the first order of business. Luca shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering. He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and listened closely. She was asleep. His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
Check on Mr. Tolliver in the basement. Oh. It is still open. Oh no.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left without a trace.
Or maybe Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luca's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Yeah. Okay, I can figure this out. Just need a little brain food.
Luca rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into...
Ugh. I'm afraid your jam delivery will be delayed.
He flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncreed. Okay, now I can think. So if Gran knows we tied up Mr. Tolliver, I'm screwed. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. Guess the only option is to go to bed and act like nothing is wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. Go to sleep. I have a bad feeling about the food we just ate. Do I need to close that? Gran? Okay, stick to the plan. Go to bed and play it cool.
As Luca climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened. His stride began to falter. He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself.
No, he's getting
Something
drugged.
was wrong.
Come on, legs. Just a few more steps.
Luca groaned and tried to move. His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
The germ? I mean, we went to bed. Just on the floor, I guess. Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? Rest now and let me handle everything. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Chapter 9.
This is the furthest we've made it.
A speech to end all speeches. Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him? Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed?
Because Mr.
Shaking the
Nuncreed's on the other
questions from
side?
his woozy head, Luca snapped back to the matter at hand.
The festival! Okay, we gotta get going to the festival, I'm sure. Any chance I can open these doors? No? Okay. Cool. Thought I'd give it a try. That stays on. Okay, I'm gonna leave it. Let's see if leaving it does anything at all. Okay. This is still open. Anything new? Anything different? Creepy. Is that a punching bag over there? The fire's running. Okay, so to the festival. Oh, cutscene stuffs. He's still wearing the hat! Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Not this one. The one intended for Mr. Nuncreed put me to sleep. Whoa! Sly devil. Sly. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around, but haven't seen anything odd. Your Gran's nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Mayor Gus just got up to the podium. Everyone's gathering at the stage. Let's get moving. Hey, speech time. No.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Yeah. Is this thing... hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and I suppose you already know that. Oh yes. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be where it was today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Even that's more than the old codger deserved.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right. Where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine, everyone!
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's hear it for our mayor! What a great turnout! Ah, heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. Would be a shame to waste on such a beautiful podium.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. And I am dadgum thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From the second I stepped foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity, represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering great loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment, change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Oh. Fate made the perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial Harvest is a community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the foul harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on conviction that we are that horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
Oh no, I have to, okay. We now walk hand in hand into a future we will shape together. And what is that? That's what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I'm tickled pink that we'll all be making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. What was that?
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all of my travels, I've learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We have all planted a lot of good in this town. And so, it is with a happy heart that I can proclaim.
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
Our harvest awaits! So they bombed the source, and that
At that moment,
reaction
a merciless
caused this?
wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched. For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end.
There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything!
Yeah.
Maybe we should just quit?
No.
Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again!
No.
No, I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again. Please.
Oh, there's a sly answer there. Yeah. There's still stuff here that we haven't done yet, which means we're gonna go back there. Okay. Let's go here. Okay, let's do Sly Cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation.
Sly Cop interrogation.
Luca and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task.
Oh, it's her turn.
With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
Huh? What's going on here? You're that mobile girl. Please, call me back. Sorry about all
Mr.
this.
Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
Seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was gonna be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child. What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we both are here
Beck twirled her
to
hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her, though. If anyone were to find out we're going to destroy the source, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
Yeah, seriously. You sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good. There's one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing, really. The other day I had the radio on scan while restocking the candy shelf. And wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in the perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So we have a password and nowhere to put it. It's gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. I got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
Whoa. You guys catch that? Sure did. The whole time Mr. Tolliver's had a candy shelf, but all he ever sells us is apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
Me too. The password, Rollo? Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he had heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried, covered. Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of these letters and number thingies. So U would be 21, N would be 14, D would be... Oh, it's an anagram. Nuncrean's drugstore.
Luca and Beck looked at Rollo with amazement.
Rollo, that was incredible. Well, it's either that or Crin's new drugstore. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How'd you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. Investigate Nuncrean's drugstore. Okay. All signs point to Nuncrean. Uh-oh. Should we talk to her? I guess so. You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around here, have you? Nope. He's got me waiting around like the last slice of pie. I swear, that man could be late to his own funeral. Okay, to the drugstore. Out. I thought something was gonna happen. I know that, like... Okay, that's fine. I know nothing really happens when I do that. It's just a chill spot, but, like, I thought we were gonna do something. Yeah. You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work. Work? You? I had a few more details to lock down for the festival. Huh? What do you have to report? What is this insipid town festival really about? I think
Gus looked around nervously.
Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him. I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and the Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. It's our father's town. Was... Excuse me? This was our father's town. He's gone, Eris, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. That's just a temporary arrangement. That glow can be seen from our damned backyard. They're dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When all this inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town is going to change whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be part of that future? Or be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you'll always be Gus. Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. Ooh. It's getting late, children. Alright. What secrets do you have? Knowledge, he spat with a sneer. There exists a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a damn thing about it. Humph. I do hate it when the villain makes a good point. Ooh. We better get to Nuncrean's. Okay, alright, fine. Fine. Away we go! Oh! Hey, we haven't really interacted with you at all.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon? We're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Then where'd you get the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Though we might not always have family to rely on, licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice, but whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. I always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold hard cash. Alright, I guess good talk. Well, he's right, it's locked. There's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. I know the phone booth is going to play a part here. I just know it. Yeah, Let's see if there's anything else first. Before we click into what will inevitably be our doom. So the answer's gotta be around here somewhere. Okay, to the phone booth. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? Besides Mr. Nuncreed? No.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keyboard. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Grant's Nuts Drugstore! New drugstore. I mean, Underground Secrets! The password!
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
Alright, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground Secrets. Sounds like that did something. Great. Now what? I guess we... Whoa!
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate.
As they crash into
Suddenly,
each other.
The chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground.
Okay.
The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
Knew it. You knew that there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No. I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the trans-dimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue 12 were real? Rollo, at one point or another, you've said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. Looks like each of these has been something written on them. Okay. This suit has a broken mask. So, have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit. If it walks like an Nuncreed and talks like a Nuncreed, let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. The town is all farms and fertilizer. And a series of tubes. Pa always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa, you don't always realize what he means until it's too late. Perennial Harvest Main Office. That's where my mom works. What does she do? Science stuff? Is she involved in all of this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? This is starting to feel like something big. Alright, let's hit buttons and cause problems. That's a lot of buttons! Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech.
Rollo's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Oh no. Eeny, meeny, miny. Rollo, what did you do? Nothing! I didn't even move yet! What was that? Hide! Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here! Just get back! Shit. 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 Awesome! You all need to come with me. Now. We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets. I told them it was an absurd password, but they love anything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins. We don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I like my skin. This all stops now, Nun Creed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him. Ooh. Walt. You don't get to talk about my dad. You know, your father and I were friends back before...
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
all of this. That's a lie! It's true, I used to bounce you on my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So you were his sidekick? No, we were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He's found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. And my dad said no. Your father and I, we both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick to villain pipeline. Walt loved being righteous, almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes. Is there a point to this sob story? Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
Ah! I tried to keep you safe. Tried to keep you and Juniper out of this. But you forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What? You really don't know. My gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose. Juniper? Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's going to disrupt the festival? Why would she...
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know? Apparently she knows a lot of things. What? Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we've busted into today. And honestly, hers was way cooler. She got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what it is what she's messing with. Tell me now. She's in danger, boy. I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in town square. The fountain, but why would...
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source? What the heck is the source? If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze and... Dear God, she's going to freeze us all. You all need to run. Run where? Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. That did not go how I expected. So, we're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. You good? Yep. I love this town. Looks like a laundromat.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth. Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera, as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carry her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
Okay. So we already know about this place. But, like, we the players, but these guys don't, so we'll learn about it now. That was intense? Yeah. I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got any of us. He's just muttering over in the corner. It didn't feel like we traveled that far. So where did it all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. We gotta catch up to Nuncrete. I think he went this way. Okay, this is all starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed in all things Beacon Pines, but it does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. Ah! I got it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncrede's an alien. Rollo. Stick with me here. His species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimensions, so naturally they keep it cold. They found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back there. The final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into Beacon Pine citizens of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. You get used to it. We should keep moving. Alright.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncrede inching cautiously toward a pit at its center.
Oh no.
He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild.
Kinda looks like it.
Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Nuncrede was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town. Oh, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran! What's happening? Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncrede turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nuncrede spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to effect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to line your pockets. Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge.
Oh no.
Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luca's mind flooded with questions.
Oh, no.
The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
And in the stillness, probably weep. Probably weep.
And in the stillness, he began to weep. It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luca whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow.
Aw.
Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This'll all make sense soon, Luca. Then everything can go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll see where their loyalties fall. Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness. She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
You see, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing to...
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence.
This timeline doesn't make sense, though. The timeline doesn't make sense.
Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luca, her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror. There was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant. That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end.
Aw.
Well, that was dire.
Yeah.
On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from. Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
Perfect. Okay, so there's hum is an option there. Are there any other... Okay, it looks like the lower... So the only things that I'm gonna get another thing on are Windows to the Soul. And then here. Okay, so we're gonna hum this time.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody.
No.
It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud.
Oh no.
Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note.
Oh no. Wait, is it really Graham? Ah. Ugh. Ugh. My heart.
Luca lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
Wait a second. How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo? The only people who call me that are my dad and your mother.
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly.
Wait a second.
He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees.
Wait a
Something
second.
about her was undeniably his mother. Only smaller, older, changed.
Mom? That's not the twist I was anticipating. That's right, buckaroo. Mom!
Luca sprinted
Ugh.
as fast as he could toward. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor? I thought you were gone. Ugh, you should have known I would never abandon my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd have pieced it together by now. You were exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why'd you leave me? I never left you. I was always right there, Luca. Why did you lie to me? It tore me up, Luca, but I did it to keep you safe. Thought that getting answers would help us both move on. But the more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luca. Am I still, using grand voice, or they won't stop until they get what they want? And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Then what do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. This is too big. Tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now. There's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold, hard truth.
Luca gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everyone. We've got a party to crash. That's gonna be tough to stop using the voice. Ugh. That was not the twist I was prepared for. You don't understand. He always wins.
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know. 7 months ago, Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering. No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door bust open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempest Liquamen. There were dozens of them. Every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod.
Oh no.
Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
Oh no. Okay, we're back here. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I'm tickled pink that we'll all be making that choice together. How great is that? This man is a liar. Excuse me? I will not. This town is a dangerous secret and perennial harvest only exists to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses. You aren't making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd and just plain impossible. They promised they could fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave town for a few days. But while they had us evacuated, Miss Hartford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to. You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm. This is growing tiresome. A little help, please. Don't you all see? This festival is a sham. An excuse to have the whole town gather in one place. They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her. She's absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I'm Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Well, aren't you just sneaky as the dickens? We all knew Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true. And now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry about this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable, so that she can get the help she needs. She's not the one who's disturbed. You two-timing clown. You all know there's something wrong with this town. It's just easier to look the other way. The truth is... Huh? That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Yes, sir. Take them away. No, I want them to see this. Ah, the ever-tempestuous, tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn. You've been quite the thorn in my side, like a weed that's burrowed in where it doesn't belong. I must confess you look dreadful.
He paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. Won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party. But alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent mumbling. No matter, your failures are yours to bear. Mr. Kerr? Yes, sir? It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for the rousing oratory. I will take it from here. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. You've done quality work for me, William. You can look forward to the recompense we agreed on.
Kerr gave a bow of deference.
Founder, you are most gracious.
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper Valentine.
His body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist.
What?
A hushed horror gripped the crowd. This is a story about change.
What? No! Ah, so you didn't see that coming. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite the improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. Eleanor was right about one thing. This festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is a celebration, people. Maybe it would help if we set the mood. Mr. Kerr, be a dear and reveal the sign. Ha! Wonderful!
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh. Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Sharper, you malicious bastard! Ooh, malice. I'm glad you're back so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again. Sorry, this is not the time for audience participation. Some assistance, Mr. Kerr.
William Kerr gave a subtle nod to the clipboards.
You coward. Does anyone else have something to contribute?
A helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
I thought so. Did you all truly believe you could be free of me? Town of complete and utter fools. You people should be celebrating my return. You clearly lost without me, and that leads me nicely to my children. Daddy? I'll give you both the greatest gift a parent can give. The opportunity to prove yourselves in my absence. Squandered. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. But Silence, Augustus. An adult is speaking. I don't know which is worse, a son who's completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Eris, you failed me with an admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it this time. Father, I have been wasting time, my dear. What have you accomplished? I was focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? Who needs a legacy when you can just live forever? But what about... It's all right, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from a complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Now then, where is Joseph? You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ah, there he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense. The people deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what I did because he left me no choice. You always had a choice, Joseph. You were simply too weak to take it. No matter. Cheer up. You're about to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kerr's example. When I found him, he was in a sorrier state than any of you. An aging actor desperate to recapture his youth. He played his part, and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. That goes for all of you. Well, those who haven't already frittered away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again, and I am willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty. Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of a perennial harvest? Ha! You think that puffed up blathers could have accomplished any of this? Dawn, I suppose it's time for your big exclusive.
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride. He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, it almost felt frivolous.
You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect, lie, and bilk this town for a spell. So I invented William Kerr. Take your bow. You've earned it.
Mr. Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Patrick C. Montesquieu, Thespian extraordinaire, at your service. Founder, I just wanted to thank you again for this opportunity. It truly was the role of a lifetime. Wait, so this Bill Kerr was a Pat C the whole time? Now that your secret's out in the open, what's to stop this town from rising up against you? Oh, that's the delicious part. Fear. Thanks to our clipboards, I know what each and every person in this town fears most. And I will make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. The choice is simple. I'm not afraid of you. Ha! The young hero. I've kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity. If things would have gone a bit differently, you might have had your moment of triumph. But that's fate for you. You can't do this. Oh, but I can. I have one. Never underestimate what a great man can do given time. And now time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought, but well worth it. Ha!
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckles.
Enough chit-chat, let's get to work, shall we? Uh-oh.
And so, Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image. The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous, a secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where winters grew longer and longer. The end. This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now.
Okay.
You can feel it, right? We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing. Let's see.
Okay, so the only other place we had... Yes, here. Windows to the Soul. We have another option here. Okay, so this is when Mr. Nuncreed was glaring at him at the phone booth. There was malice lurking behind those eyes. Okay.
There was a malice lurking behind those eyes. Like a trap ready to spring. Luca felt the weight of Nuncreed's hand on his shoulder. Something wasn't right. He didn't know why, but something was telling Luca to get out of there.
I just want this to all be over. Of course, I'm sure it will all work out soon enough. I should get going. I told Roxy I'd check for Rollo at the treehouse.
Luca twisted free of Nuncreed's grasp.
Of course. Luca, you know your dad and I were good friends back in the day. You can come to me with anything. Anything at all. Okay, cool. I like the going back and forth in between things, but I also feel like it makes it difficult to remember all of the things. These festival decorations are a bit humdrum. Now, if I were to throw a festival, it would be a thing to behold. I agree. This is all more than a little sad. It's worse than sad. It's boring. If we did a little something to spice things up. I'm listening. You know that festival sign waiting to be unveiled? It would be a shame if someone...
The two scurried off, eagerly formulating a plan.
Okay. Interesting. Hi there. He looked down and muttered in a gruff voice. Mama always told me my problems would look smaller once I grew up. But my problems always seemed to grow right along with me. Heavens, I sense big trouble ahead. Oh no. Hello, you have anything going on? Hey Griffin, has Rollo been by? Haven't seen him all day. Sure he'll show up safe and sound, and when he does, tell him there's a strawberry chocolate double scoop waiting for him on the house. He'll like that. Oh, so this one is the one where he's still missing, right? Wait, that gave me another thing. Can I do anything with that? Ooh. Oh, malice is a question mark because we're still doing it. Oh, that branch is done. Okay, so this is the only way up now. Okay. I think we're getting towards the end. Seems like we have to be. Whoa. Identify yourself, please. Nellie Modewell. I work here now. I'm unable to locate you on our staff roll. Oh, I don't officially start until tomorrow. Mr. Kerr said I could come in early tonight to get a few things done. Hold, please. Clearance authorized. Thank you. Our harvest awaits. Whoa! You could get a wrench to the noggin sneaking up on a guy like that. Don't scare a man while he's junkin', sonny. Evening, Jeff. It's kind of late to be junkin'. I might as well ask the same thing of you. Find anything good? Bleh, ever since Perennial Harvest moved in, even the junk is trash. You can learn a lot about a person by looking at what they throw away. With this bunch, it's all shredded paper and coffee cups. Well, I'd better get going. I didn't see nothing if you didn't see nothing. See what? Exactly. Good talk. Alright, so we said potentially here. Hey, Jetson. Have you seen Rolo come by this way by any chance? Afraid not. As elusive as the fishes in this here pond. As elusive. Okay. Oh, we should check and see if there's anything else. Because that's probably where all the tokens are going. Yeah. Oh, smack is...
Luca stuck a toy stretchy hand onto the hook. Those things always get dirty anyway.
Toy stretchy hand. Wow. Should we give it to Mom? She likes jewelry. It's a sweet thought, Buckaroo. But I'm not sure she'd fully appreciate a pawn bracelet. Was that all that I could get? Yeah, so that's...
Luca stuck a toy stretchy hand on... Those things always...
Okay, that's not what I meant. Alright, so we said not this way? Rolo?
He aired a long holler into the woods.
Rolo! Rolo, wherever you are, I hope you're okay.
Luca felt his eyes getting heavy and plopped into the beanbag.
Bloop.
He conceded to its lumpy embrace.
Gossip. Oh, another
Once
dream.
again, Luca found himself in a vast black expanse. This time, he knew exactly where to go. He took a single confident step forward.
Okay.
The world flickered and pulsed. He found himself standing in front of the frigid air of a blazing campfire. The source. He plopped down cross-legged and gazed into the cold flame, waiting. Soon enough, the fire began to die out, popping sporadically, until all that was left was a single ember.
Okay.
Luca stood up and dusted himself off. He plucked the glowing ember from the cold ash, examined it, and slid it into his pocket, a keepsake.
Okay.
The voice of his father spoke behind him. "You made me proud, Buckaroo." Luca turned to face him. "Dad, what is this place?" A warm grin grew across his father's face. "A place where everything that has been and everything that could be all wait together."
Oh.
Luca found himself staring at his father's face, trying as hard as he could to memorize every single detail. Wait?
Oh.
For what? Another voice spoke out as Luca's doppelganger stepped forward. "That's up to you."
Aw.
Without knowing why, Luca began to weep.
Yeah.
Is any of this real? Are you real?
Luca's father bent down to smudge away a tear. "Of course. I'm as real as the part of you that misses me."
Aw.
Luca turned to look at the older version of himself.
And you?
The doppelganger choked back tears.
I'm as real as the part of you that's angry he's gone.
Aw.
Does that make sense? Through his tears, Luca laughed.
I think so.
His father pulled him in for an embrace.
Time to go, Buckaroo.
Aw.
Luca
Ah.
was startled from his dream by a banging on the floor.
Are you in there?
A commanding voice rumbled from below.
I don't know if this
Just
was
as
gonna-
Luca sprang to lock the entry hatch, the door knocked open. Chapter 5. Dangers big and small.
We're all the way back at chapter
Luca
5?
stumbled back. He heard the rope ladder creak under significant weight. Keeping his eyes fixed on the hatch, he inched backward to the balcony. As his hand grasped the door handle, Luca froze. A large figure clumsily wriggled up through the hole.
Stop right there! We're all... Sheesh, I know it's dark and all, but I figured you'd recognize me. Who are you?
The large figure cocked its head inquisitively.
Stop now or I'll clobber you with a baseball bat. Whoa, 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 take it easy. Luca, you need to get your eyes checked. It's me, Rollo. Nice try, but I know you aren't Rollo. You're like one of his random uncles or something. Where is he? Uncle? Luca, quit messing around. It's me. If it really is you, prove it. Flaming chicken coop, Luca.
Luca's jaw dropped. He peered more closely at the man standing in front of him. Something about him was undeniably Rollo, only bigger, older, changed.
How? What happened to you? When I was running away, I ran into more people in those yellow suits. They grabbed me and dragged me away. What? Where did they take you? Dunno, they threw a bag over my head. It was cold and smelled like swimming pool. I think it was an underground lab or something. They made my hands all big, look.
Rollo proudly presented his hands to Luca.
Pretty sweet, right? I mean, it wouldn't be my first pick for a superpower. But beggars can't be choosers. But Rollo, it wasn't just your hands. My feet, too? Dang, Pa just made me new shoes. Wait, Luca, why are you so small?
Luca moved to the side and pointed Rollo to his reflection in the balcony window.
What the?
His hands shot up to his face.
Holy Toledo! Rollo, what did they do to you? They made me drink some sort of green crud. Ew. It actually wasn't too bad. It kind of tasted like licorice. I passed out and woke up like this. And then I sort of smashed open my cage and escaped. Whoa, you smashed open a cage? Kinda. At least I think I did. It's all a bit of a blur. They had you in a cage? Who are these people? I don't know who did this to you, but we're gonna fix it. Fix it? This is awesome! Well, I'm just glad you're safe now. Luca, you don't need to worry about me. Sure, I got snatched, but look at it this way. I got snatched. I know where snatched people go. We may finally have a lead then on what happened to your family. Maybe you're right, but this all seems dangerous. Danger, ha!
Rollo shadowboxed a few jabs.
Tap, tap, tap. I'll take them all on. Oh! Hey, fellas, what's up?
With a yelp, Rollo dove behind Luca.
Take cover! Did I come at a bad time? Who the heck are you? This is Beck. Sorry, something truly bizarre just happened and I need help. I don't know where else to go. So you're just hanging here with your large adult friend? No, this is my buddy Rollo. This is your missing friend? One and the same. He seems a little old. I'll have you know this is a recent development. What the heck does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry, you're the one who just showed up out of nowhere. So we'll be asking the questions here. That's fair. How'd you find us? Your silly little treehouse? I think you mean our silly little mission control. I hate to break it to you, but your secret path isn't so secret. And I could hear your racket from a mile away. See, Luca, this is why we need to improve security around here. Not now, Rollo. Beck, you said something bizarre happened. Yeah, but...
She shot a nervous glance at Rollo.
Anything you can say around me, you can say around Rollo. This has been a weird day all around, hasn't it? Yep.
Beck's eyes narrowed.
Okay, so it all started when I made it back home. My first order of business was trying to salvage my hair. So I dyed it with some stuff from the chemistry set my mom gave me. Okay, just need to play it cool, and hope no one notices. Notices what? Oh, nothing, I was just... Come over here and let me have a look. Oh, honey, what in the world did you do to your hair? It just kind of felt like a change. This is going to take forever to grow out. You were the one who said that change was a good thing, right? I was talking about your mother's new job. I was talking about us moving. Well, I guess I just took your lesson to heart.
Ilona tried to put on a smile.
Before I forget, I came up here to tell you that Nellie had to go into work. Tonight? Her and Mr. Kerr decided it would be good for her to get some things done before tomorrow. That Kerr guy seems like a grade A creep. Beck. Well, he is. Him and his weird cult of personality. You are not going to ruin this job for Nellie. It means too much to her. Oh, I know exactly how much it means to her. It means enough to her to exile her daughter to this podunk town. This place sucks. These people are weird. You just don't know them yet. It's always cold. We're in the mountains. You'll get used to it. I can't even pick up a single decent station on the radio. It's all banjo music and farm reports. You know I grew up in a town not that different from this one. Is that why you're better at talking to plants than people? Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. First of all, you're grounded. What? In the morning, I'll have Nellie come and see what we can do about fixing your hair. You need to look presentable for the festival. But not another peep.
She sighed, and after a moment, looked down at Beck sympathetically.
I know moving is hard, honey, but that doesn't mean you have to make yourself miserable all the time. Other people seem to have that covered for me. Oh, and if you decide to rebel by dyeing your hair more,
She flashed a sly grin and tousled Beck's hair.
I'll just shave it off for you. Think of how rebellious you'll look then. Very funny. Thank you. Good night, sweetie. Good night, Mom. Wait. First of all, this town does not suck. Second, you need help because you got grounded? No. I'm sorry you got in trouble. It's my fault your hair got screwed up in the first place. Don't worry about it. I actually kind of like this look. Great. Can we get back to the story now? This next part is the important bit. I have this radio I upgraded with my mom, and I was too angry to sleep, so I tried to dial in something worth listening to. Mr. Kerr, are you there? Mr. Kerr? Yes, I'm busy. What is it? Apologies. I have the founder on the line. Patch him through immediately. One moment. Hello, sir. It's so nice to hear from you. Skip the pleasantries. What's your report on our new lead research of deep engineering? Nellie Modwell seems to be integrating nicely. At this very moment, she's working to help us meet our deadline. She offered to work overtime before I even had the chance to suggest it. Excellent. And you have faith that she's capable of finishing the work left by her predecessor. Her work must be complete before the festival. I will make sure she stays day and night until it's accomplished. Good. You know how I feel about loose ends. Yes, sir. Once she's finished the work, we'll need to make a determination regarding her long-term prospects in the company. Immediately, sir? I usually have more time to fully bring people into the fold. We're in the endgame, Bill. After your failures with Dr. Prescott, I can't afford to take any risks. Of course, sir. No loose ends, sir. Once she finishes the work, she'll either leave the office completely committed to perennial harvest, or she won't leave at all. Perfect. Sir, if I might suggest, maybe we should delay just for a bit. Oh? Just we seem to be rushing to hit this festival deadline. And rushing into things has caused some issues in the past. I see. Please understand that I just want what's best for you. I'm eternally grateful for all that you've done for me. Bill, I'll make this very clear for you. I brought you in to make things run smoothly, not to have opinions. Of course, sir. Chin up, Bill. You're only a few days away from having everything you ever dreamed of. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Whoa. Yeah. So we're clear. When they said loose ends, they were talking about murder, right? Like actually killing someone? Capital murder?
Luca gave Rollo a quick elbow to the ribs.
Who is this founder? I was hoping you guys would know. As far as we know, Kerr is the top banana at Perennial Harvest. He sounded scared of this founder guy, so we have an even topper banana on the field. What the hell is my mom caught up in? Has she talked about the job much? Not really. She said she was going to come in and continue the work of someone she respected. Luca, do you think that body at the warehouse was the person Beck's mom came to replace? That would make sense. Beck, it seems Nellie's predecessor got, loose-ended. I'm getting that impression. Okay, so we need to get your mom out of there before the festival happens. That's 2 days away. Won't she just come home after work? That creep on the radio said they were going to hold her there until then. So if she's not coming out, we gotta go in and get her.
Beck flicked a large sheet of paper out of her pocket and slammed it on the floor.
Maybe this'll help. You have blueprints? Well, it's really just a welcome map for my mom's PH orientation day. But it shows the layout. Sure looks like blueprints to me. Look, here's the reception area. There's a big room marked Founder's Office. It even has the exits marked. Guys. We have a deadline. We have to make an objective. We have an objective. We have blueprints. You realize that this is right.
Willow started to wiggle with excitement.
I think we're heisting. This is officially a heist.
Chapter 6, The Heist.
Okay, so we're gonna stop there because we still have much more than I anticipated. I had thought this was going to be the final part. It's not gonna be. There's gonna be more after this. Oh, it's so good. I think we're in the home stretch, though. I really do think we're almost there. So, as always, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for watching all the way here. If you've stuck around this long, make sure you like this video because you're here. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!